Betty, I think of her sitting in the pews and just being surrounded by those who meant a lot to her. She had this kind of light that when she came into a room, you knew she was there. She struggled with her breathing, and yet you hardly ever heard her complain. She used to say, "This is life," and just keep going on and on. I visited her recently, and I got to be out in her backyard and see how beautiful it was, and to learn that she had a really deep, rich spirituality. She enjoyed looking at the birds. She enjoyed watching the water. She enjoyed the plants that were around her. She enjoyed just going and sitting and meditating and being part of God's creation. She had a wisdom that we don't see so often today. She had a faith that was deep and grounded in God. She was an inspiration to me when I went and left her, and I thought, I wish I were like her more. I need to take more time to be with God. I need to take more time to appreciate the little things in life. I need to remember how beautiful the gift of prayer is. And as I sit here today and I look at the beautiful banners, I am reminded how she could look at the world and appreciate the different colors and the different textures and how much detail she put into things. She saw the world with eyes that really appreciated. She saw the world in ways that I think we often take for granted. When you looked at some of her paintings, the detail, the coloring, and the lighting, when you look at her work here and how she took the time to make the facial expressions stand out, it reminds me that we all need to slow down. It reminds me that we often go through life and don't appreciate the beauty and artistic creation that God has given us. But this wonderful woman was able to see the beauty that surrounded her and use the gift of creativity that God gave her to help us all remember to give thanks. I know that as I stand here today, there are many of you who have known Betty for a very long time. I know there are those of you who have appreciated her artwork and who have sewn stitches with her, and those who remember laughing times with her. And I invite anyone who wants to during this time of gathering, if you would like to share a few words, if you would like to share a thought, I invite you to come forward. Is there anyone who would like to come forward at this time?
I was going to wait for some of you old-timers to speak. Well, I mean, I'm new here, and she was one of the first people I got to know and love. We went to a Bach cantata or something, mass, in a big Methodist church down in Tampa. And she came along, and what's her name that used to sing with us and was such a great gal, good friend of hers? Tell me.
Give us some clues. Who are you talking
Anyway, she used to direct the choir and everything, and she was just a wonder. And she said, do you mind if I ask Betty? And I said, of course not. So we went, the three of us, and I learned right then what a sweet spirit. I didn't have any idea of her artistic ability or anything, but her work is one of the most important things about my being in this church. I just love it so. And I almost missed it this morning because I'd forgotten. And so I just want to say that God blessed me, and I know that many of you knew her better than I, and you know lots of other lovely things, but I'm just so happy today. It's been a beautiful day from the very beginning, and this really makes it a lovely one. Thank you.
Is there anyone else that would like to share?
I
I'm not gonna come up front, I'm just gonna say it from here.
Okay.
Betty Mitchell was my local mother. I've known her very well, very close to her, and I could talk about her until the cows come home tonight, but I'm not going to. I'm going to wait until her family is here and has their celebration of her life, and that time is when I'll share.
Thank you.
I'll try to get through this. I met Betty 25, 30 years ago. She came to my class, and I was her teacher. And I had mentioned I wanted to work with kids, and it was a quilt class. And she said, oh, I love working with kids. So I said, give me your name and number. I need this woman. And she came, and I had some classes in the Quilt Guild, and she came. And later I worked in Hudson. There's an apartment complex up there, and they, to all the underprivileged people. We call them, I forget what we call them anymore, housing projects. And she came and volunteered with me, and she taught me so much on how to reach out and teach kids, because she was a teacher herself. So what I'm saying is, she came to me, and I was a teacher, but by the end, she taught me so much. She was in the Quilt Guild, she was in the doll club with me, making dolls, when she was in her Alton Wine art group. And she always welcomed me to her house. I sat on her lawn, I love her yard. And when you were saying, I guess I'm a little Betty, because I could really spend a lot of time just looking at nature. And we did I have my own watercolor class with her. And it's, you're in a rush, you're all going, Betty was pretty busy in her life. I said, no, I'm gonna spend time, I'm gonna go to Betty's, and I asked her just to teach me how to do watercolor. So when I travel, I could paint the scenery. And it was a beautiful day. She didn't do too much painting, she did a lot of talking. you know Betty. And she shares all your wisdom. So she became my teacher. And what you said about, but there's always a time, a season. And I think Betty, I don't know if you're out there feeling this, but she prepared us that she wasn't going to be here. Because she used to tell me, and she told me that she told her kids, she's like an old tree, and the leaves have fallen off. I'm not going to be here forever. And she painted a picture of my garden, because she liked even coming to my house and buy gardens. There's some of me here, I know she brought her family and friends to my garden. So I think she was sort of, preparing that, she's not here, but she left you all this beautiful legacy of these quilts. And I have my painting, and I have other little things that she made, and I just treasure them forever. And hopefully, I can nature another young girl, and on their path that she has done to me. Thank you.
Very good.
I knew Betty's mother very well, and so that got me to help to know her. Yeah, Edith was her name. And so Betty and I got to be very good friends. And when we would come over here and sit in this section, Betty always had a smile. Didn't matter how bad she might have been feeling, she never said so. But anyway, she was a great friend to everybody and always had a smile, and that's what we need to do, keep smiling.
Thank you.
Yes.
First time I ever met Betty was at Starkey Park. I can't tell you how many years ago. Mark Hamilton was our pastor back then. And she came up behind me, tapped me on the shoulder, and said, I'm going to